Hey, it's me. I'm back. Um, Today, the message is going to be: do you want some help? So, let me just kind of talk to you about how this message formulated with me today. I got up like I do. Said thanks to God and Jesus, and, you know, prayed to them about how to start my day, what they wanted me to do today, and just show me the way like I always do. And I went downstairs, made my coffee, went out on my back porch, and started scrolling on my phone through my Facebook pages and my Reels pages, and saw all kinds of stuff, and some funny stuff, and some stuff I sent to my wife and laughed about, and um, then I got to this story, which wasn't right off the beginning. It was after I was scrolling for a while. I mean, this was like a good maybe half hour. Actually, I actually think I stopped and I went in. I had to get some work done in my home office with the new listing we got. We just put in. I had to tweak some stuff with it to get it ready for showings because we already have two showings set up for today on it. And we just put it in the computer this morning. And market's still crazy, which is great. Anyway, so after that, I got back on and was kind of scrolling around, and right before I got in the shower, and this lady pops up, and she's a nurse, a hospice nurse. So she sees a lot of death and people like towards their last couple, steps of life, and God, it's got to be a hard job to do, um, to see people and I guess maybe try to convince them, to bring them to Jesus and bring them to God if they haven't done so already. Since that's it. I mean, if they don't do it, then they ain't got a shot. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, she said she was having some pain, some emotional pain, some physical pain. So she decided to go take a walk by herself on the beach, and she prayed to God and said, please, get rid of this physical and emotional pain for me, and you know I don't know what else I need to do, what else can I do, um, you know kind of questions, and then she said, immediately after she said what she said to God, she looked over to her right and saw a family of four kids playing on the beach. They were getting ready to pack up for the day, and the mom had gotten three of the kids together and was carrying them off the beach, and the dad's got all the stuff, and he's got the smallest kid who can barely walk because he's so tiny, and he's struggling trying to walk in the sand. But on top of that, the kid was dragging this huge bucket that was like the same size he was. And what she kept hearing the dad say to the to the kid, she kept hearing him say to the kid, "Would you like some help?" And the kid's like, I got it, I'm taking it, I'm doing it. But the dad just kept being persistent and kept saying, "Do you want some help? Do you want some help?" And the lady said she finally had a light bulb go off in her head. And she said that was what God wanted her to see, and that was the exact message that God wanted her to see, was that God was saying to her, "Do you want some help from me?" Wow. But that's what he did in that interaction. So, people talk about signs and talk about how God works. Um, and it's different for everybody. People who watch this and watch the podcast know that he speaks to me through musical songs sometimes, and um, by showing me the same thing over and over and over again, and it's just wild, to see him work like that for this lady, because that's exactly the message that God wanted her to have was, "Do you want some help from me?" And of course she does. But now she knows she has to surrender, like we talked about, I think yesterday, surrender herself to the Lord and trust the Lord to help her. Like a lot of people do. A lot of people pray to God when they want stuff. They pray to God when they're in a bad situation. They pray to God when they're in a tough spot. They forget about Him when they're doing good, which is a huge mistake because He likes to hear from you all the time. But, even so, praying to Him, He's used to it. Praying to Him when you're hurting, praying to Him when you need help, praying to Him when you need assistance. But you need to submit and fully submit your soul over to Him. I know that's deep for some people, but you need to fully submit your soul over to Him for Him to be able to give you the advice and wisdom that you need to work through the situations that are important to you. And that's anything. That's, maybe it's financial. Maybe it's a health condition that you have that you're worried about, that you're praying gets better and doesn't turn into some type of a, near death type of thing, Maybe it's excruciating pain that you're in that you need to get out of. Maybe it's just overall stress of life with work and having to manage, work and the kids and the laundry and the grocery shopping and everything. Maybe it's just that. It doesn't have to be something super mega crazy, but you have to fully submit to Him for Him to be able to help you. And He will help you. He will help you. But you have to fully submit. But here's the thing. I took this message one step further of, do you want some help? And what I challenge all you to do is look at it the same way I do, with not her saying that the parents were saying, do you want some help? That God was saying, we should live our lives with this mantra. When we're walking down the street or walking on the beach, walking in the woods, driving our car down the road, and we see something, and you just know it when you see it. You see something and you're like, do they want some help? Do you want some help? And it can be anything, What do you do? Do you keep walking on by? Or do you stop? And do you talk to the person or the animal or whatever and try to figure out the situation and help however that you can? And then the secondary question would be, what's your purpose here? Aren't we really here to help other people? And I'm not just talking about real estate and the financial, sense that I used to be. Like, my mindset used to be all about money, ABC, always be closing, all that stuff, Change that to ABP, always be praying. That's my new one. But I should get that on a t-shirt. That'd be a good t-shirt, wouldn't it? Always be praying. Yeah. Hashtag ABP. See? Thinking about stuff right now. Just came to me. Sketch from here, and here. But what's your overall purpose in life? Is it to help other people? See, because the quote that I always heard was, and this is true to an extent, you can have anything in life that you want. Anything. If you just help enough other people get what they want. Now, that's more the business side, okay? And in real estate, that's true because, if I help more people than I ever imagined buy and sell houses, well, then I'm going to have more money than I ever imagined, which is going to allow me to do whatever I want and buy whatever I want, right? So that's from the business standpoint. But, God doesn't care about that. God doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about vanity. He doesn't care about how many magazine covers you've been on, or how many houses you've sold, or how many years you've been the number one top producer in the business and you're the best ever. Let me beat my chest, get on the TV and have a TV commercial. Yeah, I used to have TV commercials too. It was like cost me $5,000 a month or something crazy like that. And that was back in the crazy days when I was just blowing money. Um, you know, uh, he doesn't care about any of that. He cares about what you do while you're on this earth, and did you live your life like Jesus? Did you help other people that needed help? And it's not that hard to find because just this morning, I hadn't even figured out what type of message I was going to talk about or what I was going to say, and even how I was going to work this into it. But, you know, I'm fasting, so I can't eat, even though I want to eat my face. But hopefully, my face is getting smaller. I can't tell because I got to wait till I go back to the doctor to figure out where I'm at and how things are going. But haven't been eating like all day, and I just drink coffee and water, and that's it. But I do have this like favorite coffee I get at Wawa, and it's sea salt caramel. And they actually didn't have it this morning. I was upset. I had to get French vanilla, but whatever. So I get my coffee, and I get back in my car, and I'm always paying attention. Who can I say hi to? Who can I say good morning to? Because you never know where that conversation is going to lead to, you know? And it's just nice to meet other people sometimes and see other people sometimes and interact with other people sometimes. Um, so I get back in my car. And this is funny. For those of you who watched the podcast yesterday, the song I talked about yesterday was "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now" by Starship. So I literally get in my car and I get on Facebook and I just hit one scroll, and what pops up? Nothing's gonna stop us now. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, that's a sign. Something's gonna happen. I need to keep paying attention. So I do. So I pull out of the parking lot, go onto the main road, and I go through like maybe 2 or 3 traffic lights. And I get to another light, which is at a main intersection of like very busy intersection, lots of cars and stuff. So it's a two lanes on each side street. So it's like 4 lanes of traffic, and then the one has 2 turn lanes too. So it's like 6. There's a lot of lanes of traffic, is what I'm getting at. Well, I'm just paying attention. I'm sitting there, and I see this guy sitting in his car. He's sitting in his Honda Pilot, his black Honda Pilot, which I used to have, and he's at the very front of the intersection. And I see him open his door, his driver door, and then he closes his door. And then he opens his door and he puts his foot out and he's like trying to push his car up a little bit just to like move it up. And I'm thinking, what's he got going on? Something's going on. So as soon as the light turns green, I decide to let the car go who was on my right hand side. It was immediately behind this guy. And I pulled out right in front of him and backed up and parked my car. And I got out. And I said to him, what's going on, man? And he said, my car won't start. I don't know what's going on. I think it's my battery or my alternator. And I just want to, get it out of the way. I said, well, I said, you didn't get it out of the way. I said, you're going to block this whole street up. I said, you're going to piss a lot of people off. I said, and somebody's going to rear end you while you're sitting here. I said, so let's move your car out of the way. I said, all I need you to do is just put it in neutral. I'm still a big guy. I haven't lost enough weight yet, so I'm still a big dude. And I used to be an offensive tackle, so I think I can push a car. So I said, just pop it in neutral. We're going to back it up. I said, and then where you can turn right, there's a big yield area over there. I said, we're just going to move it into the area. He goes, it's still going to block. I go, no, it's not. I said, there's plenty of room over there. If you pull it right next to the curb, all these cars are going to be able to get past you, and then nobody's going to be upset with you. And then when, and then he said he called AAA. I said, so when AAA comes, they'll be able to just park right here and they can fix you up and get you good to go. So I said, let's just move you. So I got out, moved it, and while I'm doing it, another guy stops. And he's like, hey, do you guys need any help? I'll block traffic. I'll do whatever, just want to make sure everybody's okay and all that stuff. Old guy, like retired guy. And I said, no, we're good. Thanks for asking, But it was nice to see that there's other people out there who would help a situation like that. And so moved the car, got it parked. He said, AAA's coming. I said, great, thanks. Now, did I give him a real estate card and say, here's my name and number? Call me if you ever want to buy or sell a house? No, because that's not what it's about. It was just about helping somebody without expecting anything in return. Just helping somebody. What I would like to have in return is that when my daughter, who just got her car yesterday, has a problem with her car, I would like somebody to stop and help her if I'm not there. Or my wife, where she blew a tire one day and some guy stopped and helped her and took her to a shop and fixed it all up for her and all that. This is me paying that back. See, it all comes full circle, It's all, what is your purpose? And, everybody's purpose should be serving other people with gratitude and love. With gratitude and love. And that, can you imagine? I'm just like throwing this out there, but can you imagine if everybody lived their life like that? Trying to help other people and put themselves on the side and just worry about other people first. Putting your neighbor first, love thy neighbor, right? Can you imagine the type of world we would live in? The type of wars we wouldn't have? The type of conflicts we wouldn't have to get into? It's powerful stuff. It's crazy stuff. But see, I knew something was going to happen because he played my song on the radio. Well, not on the radio, on my phone. And I could just tell that I was going to have to be called into action to help somebody out sometime soon. And there I was. Opportunity presented itself. Now, I could have just driven by, could have just looked the other way, but I didn't. I didn't do that. I stopped, and I helped, and I did what I could. And that's what everybody should do. And think about what I said, Fully submit to the Lord. fully submit yourself, and he will speak to you. I'm convinced. I'm convinced he will speak to you. It may not be an actual voice in your head, but he will speak to you through an interaction with another person, seeing other people interact like the lady did with the people on the beach, playing a song over and over again with the lyrics he wants you to Google and read and pay attention to and interpret and use your brain to think about why he's showing you that and why he wants to do that with you. I'm convinced that he does that with me because he likes to play games with me and likes me to think about stuff because he doesn't want it to be easy for me for whatever reason. But I enjoy it, and it's fun, and that's how it should be, you know. When I talk to him, I call him Dad. I have a dad, but I haven't talked to him in over 20 years. My Earth dad, but my real dad, who I didn't know I really had him until I was in my 40s. For real, didn't know. Till he finally had to save me from some serious dark stuff, which I haven't really got into yet on this podcast, but I'm gonna get there eventually. I got a guy that I met at a recovery meeting that's gonna be doing an interview with me. That I have a feeling we're gonna touch on some dark demons and evil spirits and some cool shit that everybody wants to talk about. That's real, actually, which is scary, but it doesn't have to be, because if you got God, you got nothing to be scared about at all. Nothing at all. Not even the devil himself. You can laugh in his face. And that's what God wants you to do. So, do you want some help? Live your life like that. Always be looking for an opportunity to help other people. And then follow through on it and help the other people. What's your purpose? Serving other people. Serving other people. Serving others. And praying to God. And worshiping God and Jesus through the Holy Spirit. It's not that hard. You do those things, I guarantee your life changes. Guarantee your life changes and goes places that you never thought possible. Because he will make sure of it. He will make sure of it. I know it. I'm a walking, talking testimonial of it. Because I would not be here if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't be here. Straight up. Which is why I've dedicated my life to serving Christ and God. So if you liked what you saw in this video, give me some thumbs ups, give me some comments, maybe some shares on your social media, share it on your pages, let other people see it. And the funny thing is, even if they don't like it, I don't care. I just want them to watch it. Because remember, the whole point of this podcast is so that people can see that Jesus is real And God is real, and the Holy Spirit's real. The whole point. And I don't care if I get 1 view or I get 2 million views. 2 million would be nice, but 1 view could change the world for one person. And that's why I do this. Even though it takes time, it takes 25 minutes out of my life, 26 minutes out of my life, to me, it's worth it. Because if I can take 26 minutes out of my life and save a life and bring somebody to Christ, that was worth it. That was worth it. Because that is what I'm called here to do. Bring as many people to Christ as possible, along with helping others. That's part of it. So, take care of yourselves and each other. And as always, God bless all of you. Thanks for watching.